Okay, it's like 9 p.m. here in Alaska, and I'm gonna show you where I'm gonna mount my Max Trax, the off-brand Xbull. Nonetheless, the Trax self-recovery system. Gonna put it on the tailgate. I think it'll look pretty cool and it'll be accessible. So, I'll show you that. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm gonna take this off, and I wanted to see what was underneath it to see if I could bolt these directly to the metal on there, but I think it's gonna have to be connected to the plastic. We're gonna see how those go. But there are 4 star bolts that you gotta take out for this one, and then there's 3 on the very top, so you also have to take this plastic piece off, which there's 4 Phillip head screws on. Okay, and you pop this one off so you can access these 3, and then this pops off. So this is what the inside looks like. I was gonna try to, if this was all just a sheet, then I was going to try to just drill some holes and bolt it. Since there's no sheet, I'm gonna just drill through this plastic, makes it a lot easier. And this will actually be, this is bolted pretty securely down to the tailgate, so I don't think I'll get any rattling or anything. Mounted something like this, might be closer to the top, something like that. Nonetheless, it'll be bolted center and stacked. I think it'll end up being pretty good. It won't take up too much bed space. The reason I wanted to do it there is because you can see here, this gap is almost exactly the thickness of these combined. So I won't lose a lot of bed space, and I won't be taking up a whole side of this with it. Also, if they're down here on the tailgate, if I need more space and I lay the tailgate down, these obviously can bear quite a bit of weight. And so anything I set in there, I can set on top and it won't be too much of an issue. I just gotta measure these out, drill them, and then put them back on there. So realistically, it should be pretty quick, pretty easy. I wasn't planning on doing this tonight, but you know what? I just got the gumption and it actually looks pretty easy. So let's get into it. So I'm taking the plastic, and centering it up. It's not gonna be perfect. I also don't care for it to be perfect. But as long as it looks pretty close, I know it'll already fit. As long as I'm within this line right here, inside that, basically inside this bolt hole, and inside that other bolt hole on the other side. I'll show you. That one. As long as I'm inside those, should be fine. I'm just going to make it relatively straight here. Just mark the holes so I can drill them out. Okay, so I got those 2 and those 2. Now I just need to drill them. do that first. Slide in there so you don't have to thread it over this whole thing. Got to do this so I can get prepared for my overland trip down to the States. Coming down to the last few weeks. So hopefully be able to figure all these things out quickly. Alright, now I just gotta get the wrenches to fit. Alright, in this case it's 15 mil. Voila, look at that. We'll stack these on here like this. One thing that I did take into consideration, are these going to inhibit these bolts, which I could put these on right now and not have to worry about interfering with any of these bolts that bolt these on, or bolt this plastic on. So that's really awesome. I have to mount these upside down here because where the bolts were, you can see that nut was actually it's sticking out, but it was hitting that little spacer piece under there, and so it wasn't allowing this to fit on the top to keep them tightened down. So I just flipped them upside down because it's going to go in that space, and now it's on there. Let's go mount this thing. I apologize, it's kind of dark out. Nonetheless, just came out, set this right back on there. Let's button this up. And just be aware, these actually have little rubber grommets on them. You want to make sure you keep those on there. And due to the nuts that are on the back side of this, you might have to push the plastic in a little bit, or push it down to get the holes to line up. Remember, those nuts are under this plastic, so to get this on here, you got to kind of push it down and in there, which does give me a little bit of hope that it will actually be pretty tight and hold. turned out pretty good, I think. Easy access, doesn't seem to be in the way, and it's basically flush with that right there.